Caitlin Clark is on the floor of her own arena, her eyes still burning from a poke, and now she's been shoved down from behind by a player who wasn't even in the play. June 17, 2025. Her name, Marina Mabrey. A year later, Clark's own peers filled out secret ballots. What those ballots said about the woman on the floor and the woman who put her there is the whole story. The All-Star ballots are secret. The results aren't. 3 groups pick the starters every summer: the fans, the media, and the players themselves. This week, 2 of those groups looked at Caitlin Clark and said superstar. The third, the only one that actually shares a locker room with her, buried her. And the player who once put her on the floor, the room found a place of honor for her. Because here's the part people miss: a snub is an accident. What happened here was written down on purpose. Start with what Clark's actually done this season. She's averaging 21.2 points a game, a career high, top 5 in the entire league. She's handing out 8.2 assists a night, second in the whole WNBA, more than any other guard in basketball. She's carrying the best combined scoring and passing load of her career, and by some measures, she's on pace for the best points plus assists season anybody's ever had in this league. The vote for All-Star starters splits 3 ways. The fans count for half, the media a quarter, the players a quarter. The fans ranked Clark the number 2 guard in basketball. The media said number 3. Her fellow players, the women who guard her every single night, ranked her 11th. The only reason that number never got the chance to hurt her is that the fans' half of the vote drowned it out. So let's name what actually happened this week, carefully, because the details matter. On Thursday, July 2nd, the WNBA announced the 10 starters for the 2026 All-Star Game, coming up Saturday, July 25th in Chicago. Caitlin Clark is one of them. So are 2 of her teammates. Indiana led every franchise in the league with 3 starters. On paper, a banner day for the Fever. Then the full voting breakdown came out, and the paper caught fire. Understand something about the villain in this story. It isn't one player, and it can't be. Individual ballots are never published. We can't know whose ballots did this. We can only know what the room decided. And the room, the current players of the WNBA, voting in secret, no cameras, no names attached, decided that Caitlin Clark is the 11th best guard in their league. If that were a one-time reading, maybe you shrug it off. It's not. Last summer, 2025, same system, the fans voted Clark the number 1 guard in all of basketball. The media had her 3rd. Her fellow players put her 9th. The press called it shockingly low back then. This year, they get to add 1 word, again. 9th down to 11th. A 2-spot drop, while she's playing the best basketball of her life. Once, you could maybe explain away. Twice, lower in her best season, is a pattern. And a secret ballot is the one place a pattern doesn't have to be polite. 11th gets harder to explain the closer you look, because the same ballot shows exactly who the players did rank. The top of their guard list is defensible. Paige Bueckers sits first, and nobody on earth argues with that. But tied for 4th, top 5 on the player's own ballot, sits Marina Mabrey, the same Marina Mabrey. So, put that night back on the table, once, exactly as it happened. June 17, 2025, Indiana hosting Connecticut. In the second half, a Sun guard named J.C. Sheldon caught Clark in the eye. Clark, furious, pushed her away, and the officials handed out offsetting technicals, 1 to Clark, 1 to Connecticut's Tina Charles. That should have been the end of it. Instead, Marina Mabrey, who was not part of the play, came over and shoved Clark to the ground while her back was turned. The referees gave her a technical. She wasn't even ejected. 2 days later, the league looked at the film, upgraded it to a flagrant 2, and fined her. No suspension. Mabrey herself admitted afterward she probably overreacted a little bit. Indiana won that game by 17, and Clark, poked in the eye, thrown to the floor, still put up 20 points and 6 assists. Her teammate Sophie Cunningham answered with a hard foul of her own in the 4th quarter and got ejected for it. Defending Caitlin Clark cost her too. Now, honesty matters here, so here's the honest part. Marina Mabrey is having a career year, the best season she's ever played. In late June, just days before these All-Star results came out, she scored 53 points in a single game, tying the WNBA's single-game record shared with Liz Cambage from 2018 and A'ja Wilson from 2023, and hit a record-tying 9 threes doing it. She's averaging 21.2 points a game. That is the exact same scoring average as Caitlin Clark. Nobody's telling you Mabrey didn't earn a high ranking. She did. The point is what the room did with two identical numbers. Marina Mabrey, who's never made an All-Star team in her career, top 5. Caitlin Clark, same scoring average, plus more assists per game than any other guard in the league, 11th. The room found space for the woman who put Clark on the floor. It couldn't find top 10 space for Clark. And here's where it gets really interesting. If the players had only marked down Caitlin Clark, you could almost call it personal, but look at the whole Indiana roster. 3 Fever players were voted in as starters, more than any other team in the league, and every single one of them was ranked dramatically lower by the players than by the fans. Kelsey Mitchell, 3rd among guards with the fans, 7th with the players. Aaliyah Boston, the fans made her the #1 vote-getter at her position. Her fellow players ranked her 8th. And Clark, 2nd with the fans, 11th with the players. Whatever the fans see in Indiana, the room refuses to see it. It stretches past Indiana, too. Kelsey Plum is averaging almost 24 points a game this season. The fans ranked her 6th, the media said 5th, the players put her 12th, and a year ago, they had her 16th. Now, there's an honest explanation on the table, and you deserve to hear it. Some analysts point out that players tend to weight defense more than fans do, and Plum and Clark both catch criticism on that end. Fine, write that down as a possibility. But a defense argument doesn't explain why all 3 Fever starters got marked down the same way. And it definitely doesn't explain top 5 room for Marina Mabrey. Here's the tension. Maybe players just see the game differently than the rest of us. Sometimes they do. So, run the control test. Paige Bueckers, fans first, media second, players first. When the room truly believes a guard is that good, every single group says so, within a spot of each other. That's what consensus looks like. Now hold Clark's line next to it. 2nd, 3rd, 11th, a 9-spot canyon between what the fans see and what her peers wrote down in private. One of these things is not like the others. And it's measured, it's published, and it's undeniable. The player vote is the outlier, and the outlier lands on one specific name. And be clear about the system itself, because this part gets twisted. The voting format didn't hurt Caitlin Clark. It saved her. Fans control half the vote, media a quarter, players a quarter, and the fans overruled the room. Her combined score made her the 3rd guard overall, a comfortable starter. The mechanism worked exactly as designed. What the mechanism can't do is unsay what the room said. So, mark the date. Saturday, July 25th, the United Center in Chicago. Caitlin Clark walks into the All-Star Game as a fan-voted starter and shares that floor with the very peer group that just ranked her 11th. Every warm-up line, every handshake, every huddle. She knows the number now, and they know she knows. There's a nearer clock, too. Clark hasn't played since late June. She aggravated a back injury on a fall in Phoenix and has been limited to individual workouts since. She's already ruled out for Sunday's game in Las Vegas. Her team is now targeting a return in next week's back-to-back, Wednesday against the Sparks or Thursday against the Mercury. Nothing's promised, but the first game she plays after learning exactly what her peers think of her is now just days away. And as of right now, Clark has spoken publicly since the ballots came out, about the officiating, about the hate players take online, about her own health. She's answered almost everything. She hasn't said one word about the number. No quote, no post about the vote itself, nothing. Maybe that's an oversight. Or maybe out of everything reporters could ask her, that's the one question that's easiest to leave alone. We have seen this exact story before, and it usually ends with the quiet one getting even. February 1985. Michael Jordan is a rookie, the most popular rookie in basketball, and the fans vote him into the All-Star Game as a starter. His peers, the story goes, decided he hadn't earned it. What happened on that floor has been argued about for 4 decades. The accusation, always centered on Isaiah Thomas, is that the veterans froze the rookie out, kept the ball away from him, on purpose. Now, be fair, it was never proven, and Isaiah Thomas denies it to this day. The players swore it never happened. But the box score doesn't take sides. The most popular player in the building finished with 7 points in 22 minutes. 2 nights later, Jordan's Bulls met Isaiah's Pistons. Jordan hung 49 on them, a career high at the time, and won it in overtime, 132-126. By every account, he never forgot that weekend. And whether the freeze-out was real or legend, Most people who tell Michael Jordan's story agree on one thing: it became fuel. Caitlin Clark could be back on a court within the week. On July 25th, she stands in a huddle with the room that ranked her 11th. Somewhere in between, we find out what kind of fuel this becomes. So you tell me, which number is the real one? The fans' number 2 or her own peers' 11th? I've got my answer. I want to hear yours in the comments.